Wow, wow, wow. Hi, welcome to Watercooler. Thank you so much for tuning in. Another episode. You know how the show goes. I, Chris Luxamana, kick it with my Curl Digital Bud and Matt and Mike Saliba. With how
Nice.
yeah. All right. So let me introduce
That's
everybody.
good.
We just came back from the meet.
Someone didn't set the video settings correct after the meetup.
Yeah. So we just came back from the meetup, and so what we do after the Patreon meetup is people can just hang out on this Zoom get together and watch the show live. And somebody just looks like they clicked the camera and they panicked.
That was awesome.
That made me happy. All right, well, let me introduce everybody who is actually on the show right now. So all the way in NoHo CA, we got Mike Dawson.
Nohoka.
And all the way in Austin TX, you know him as Matt Fondelier. We know him as Gloves. Give it up for Mr. Matt Fondelier.
Hey, brother.
Hi, Matt.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, come on. So we were having a discussion at the meetup, which I kind of want to just dive in a little deeper.
It's meetup content. We don't record those.
We don't record them, so I won't.
Everyone's cool, but there
Yeah.
he goes. I don't know. What are you going to reveal? What are you going to reveal?
Well, we were trying to think of just useless body parts, and
Mike Dawson's muted himself, so I don't know if he's even able to unmute himself. He can't because again, the video settings are really messed up right now.
And I didn't want to cough in the microphone, so I muted myself. I didn't know that I couldn't unmute myself.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I'm sorry. All right, that's just the way the world works.
This show is off to a fantastic start.
We're really doing it here. The
we
three wise men.
Three.
Yeah, I like the three wise men when it's us three because we're aware of that alcoholic drink. I consider ourselves full of wisdom.
We put the dumb in wisdom.
Yeah. So the three wise men would like to know.
I'm gonna make that into a t-shirt. I don't know.
Do it, man.
Well, I would like.
Maybe I'll just get a Sharpie and write it on a shirt and wear it.
Yeah, I'd love one. If you had to lose a body part, we were going between the appendix, the tailbone, or the nipples. If you're a man, because they're useless to us, right?
Right.
Although I feel like the tailbone might have use.
I think the tailbone does have use.
I learned uses for all of them. Over
I think
the
it's
course
structural.
Of the
what was used for nipples, Matt? I forgot.
God damn it, Chris. You know, some people get pleasure out of their nipples.
Yeah,
all right?
I knew that's why you didn't want to get rid of the nipples.
No, I'm not saying it's me.
Dude, you were so pro nipple. You were trying to save.
You were just
egging
me on. You were just making me say that.
And I knew why you wanted to keep.
Matt has nipple clamps, is what we're saying. Right?
So
That's like I don't have tailbone
clamps. This is so fucked up.
I don't have no appendix clamps. What am I supposed to do with these? I was wondering what you're waving on your screen. I was like, oh, what's going on? What are those? But now that makes sense. So yeah, look.
Yeah, now it makes sense. Okay, cool.
Look, no, you're right. Because I don't look. I'm not trying to arouse anybody by their appendix.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get it.
You got to get your finger way up there to hit the appendix.
That's right. / or even the tailbone. Bruising.
Oh, that's too far. That's
bruising,
too far.
Yeah.
I just didn't get it.
It's all about pleasure. It's all.
Oh, right. That makes a lot of sense now.
So bruising the tailbone though is one of the most annoying injuries you can have, because you notice it every time you sit. And I'll be honest, I don't know for sure, but I can confidently say that I believe I've sat every single day of my life.
Yeah. For at least a minute.
At least a minute.
Yeah.
So I think that would be really annoying.
I did have to do a long time ago when I was a struggling disc jockey in Santa Barbara. I would take these gigs that were murderous, but they paid
like
well.
A hitman.
No, not
like murder people, but it paid well.
Not literally. I was the one getting murdered, and this one gig I would take was being basically a barker at a used car tent sale. And you got to get there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Doors open at 8. They put you in a rented tuxedo and give you a wireless microphone. And all day long from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, maybe 11 o'clock at night on Saturday. Friday, you get there Thursday night. We're talking Friday, fucking starts after work on Friday. Friday for 8 hours, Saturday for 16 hours. And I'm saying shit like this. Welcome to the giant Toyota used car tent sale. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, minivan, SUV, economy car, family sedan, we have it all here underneath the tent today, this weekend only. And if financing is a problem for you, don't worry about it. We got the experts on site. We're going to make sure that you go away in the car, truck, SUV, whatever of your dreams. Under the tents this weekend only, for
I'm sold.
16 fucking hours on Saturday.
Yikes.
And before I would have to go do one of these gigs, the Monday before, I would start to get really depressed and really fucking anxious. And like, oh my God, I got to go fucking do this shit again. And then Sunday morning, you wake up and you're like, fuck, it's my last day. And those are the days that I sat for maybe 20 minutes. Yeah. Maybe a minute.
It's too much.
But and then, they pay you like $1,000 a day. So you're like, okay, it's worth it, but I never want to do this again. Yeah. And I said I never wanted to do it again. And I did it 7 more times.
Masochist. Hey, Doss. Is your TV on?
Fucking, I couldn't find the remote control. Give me a second. I'll fix it. I'm sorry. I just hit pause on the fucking thing because I couldn't find the remote.
Well, it sounds like you hit play after you hit pause.
The DVR caught up with the hour it's allowed to fucking record. So I took off the microphone. I'll go in there and fix it. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. I was like, oh, what is that? Well, hey, Matt. It's just me and you, buddy. It's just me and
it's the boo too.
The boo. Oh, because
Is that what you called us?
Is that what we are? Boo too.
I feel like we were at some point. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay, boo. I miss calling people boo. Yeah. That went away.
Sorry about that, boo.
Oh, I find it endearing to be called boo. I'm a big old fan of that now.
Boo.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
I love it because it just reminds me of Halloween.
Yeah,
boo.
That's true.
Well, I love it because that's my dog.
Oh yeah, so we and then I love it because that's what people say to me when I'm on stage. All right, so I just want to
wow, that's what makes us the 3 wise men. We just took that full circle. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a show today. Chris, what
you are so freaking in a show. So we have live comments here too, which I'll be reading too, because there's one that I'm curious about myself. So why don't we dive into some comments? What do you guys say?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. And once again, these are all comments sent to us or posted by you, the listeners, in our Facebook group. Yeah, that's right. We have our very own freaking Facebook group, and it's awesome. It's very awesome. And
I hear it's one of the only groups on Facebook.
It's one of the
really hard to set one up, but like we managed to do it, and people should join it.
It's prestigious. It's rare, but most of all,
prestigious.
Most of all, it's elite. And if you're listening to this podcast, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, you're going to want to join. And it's so easy. You just go to facebook.com/groups/Bobo Army Worldwide LLC. Then you answer a few questions. We might let you in. It's my favorite place on the internet and just an incredible community. So before we get into comments from our Facebook group, we do have the live comments here from those who are on the meetup. And Stephanie Blaine was on the meetup. She's famous for giving us a very fun educational shark fact every meetup. And she first said
today's was sharks have tongs.
Yes, sharks have tongs. Yeah, what if the Dalai Lama just wanted that kid to kiss his tongs? Now, Stephanie Blaine says, best cameo ever. That was when Mike Saliba just popped in for a second and then was horrified and popped out. And then she said, is calling someone shorty still a thing?
Chris.
And I
don't
can
know.
absolutely say it very much is if you're a host on the Water Cooler.
Oh,
And,
maybe
right.
say
and
Shawty,
Matt
right?
Fondelier is one of the other guys you're talking
Okay.
to. Yeah, Shawty
You guys throw that one back and forth.
Shawty.
Shawty.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
When I hear the word shoddy, I think poor workmanship.
Oh, Shawty.
That's good.
Shoddy workmanship.
I mean,
but then
But then
shoddy workmanship could be done like by a hot, shorter person. It's like, oh, this is some shoddy workmanship.
Shoddy workmanship does sound like a rap name.
Shoddy
workmanship.
Shoddy
workmanship.
Yeah.
Work spelled like with a W-E-R-K.
Yeah.
Shoddy twerkmanship.
And no vowels after that. W-E-R-K-manship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No vowels. Right. You got it.
Shawty, of course, is spelled shorty.
Yeah.
Might be
S-H-A-W.
Sure, that's however it's spelled.
Either way, there's definitely
I'm glad I'm not the one titling this episode.
Shoddy workmanship.
Shoddy workmanship. It's definitely parental advisory.
That's good.
Sure.
It's explicit.
Yeah.
Remember when they used to put those on CDs? It was pretty, and then you could get the clean version too.
Like why would you ever do that?
I know. The Offspring re-released a record, and they didn't know, but the record company put the clean versions of 2 of their songs. So they put out a statement a couple of days ago that went, "We didn't know they put out the clean version, so we just want to say that fucking sucks." Sometimes, and their whole statement on it just had so many swear words in it. It was beautiful.
It's all of this going back and fixing the art. It's all fucked up. It makes me think of the movie E.T., Steven Spielberg. In the original version, all the police officers have guns, and they released the movie again, and they digitally changed all the guns to walkie-talkies.
They have tacos now, huh?
They have Waco tacos now. Exactly.
Yep.
Choco
tacos.
That's ridiculous. This is how it was meant to be created. You don't get to go back.
You don't get to fuck with art. I agree.
You're completely right. I mean, maybe that's what made it PG and not PG-13.
Matt, as a horror fan like myself, did you ever see? I believe it was Wes Craven's Lord of Illusions.
I do believe
Bakula.
I think we started watching it a couple Fondleweens ago. I don't remember the whole movie though.
Well, there is a
a
scene in it that they have since cut out, and it really pissed me off because we had a guest on the Corolla show who had the dude and his kid, whatever. The kid made a horror movie. It was the kid we were calling Nepo Baby. Frank Grillo and his kid. And I had asked about the movie Lord of Illusions. It's one of my favorites from like a couple decades ago. And there's a great scene where the devil dude comes back and all of his cult members murder all of their families, stop whatever the fuck they're doing, fucking kill everybody, and then go and meet up in the desert at the place. I got the movie about a month ago, and they took that fucking scene out.
God damn.
It was the best scene in the goddamn movie. And I was so upset. So I'm wondering if when you saw it, I'm very passionate.
I wish I remembered it better to help answer the query, but truthfully, I do remember the title. I remember putting it on my list, and I remember taking it off of the list. So I know that I have watched it within the last few years, but I do not remember that moment, whether or not it was in there.
Anyway, yeah, you shouldn't change movies, especially movies that everyone's already seen.
Yeah.
This movie didn't fuck with us for fucking 50 years. And now it makes some of you feel bad. Check yourself. Don't check the movie.
Yeah.
That's right.
I agree. Now, a couple things. First off, when you hear a song, when you saw that you could get the clean version of albums and things like that, and you got the radio edit, did you guys prefer them to? There are a couple of ways they would hide swear words. One, they would replace it with a different word. Another way would be a record scratch.
Yeah.
Or another way, another way would be they just delete the word and just be a blank space.
Yeah.
What did you prefer?
Well, Matt, why don't you go first? Because I have firsthand experience with this.
Oh,
Interesting. I feel like replacing the lyrics with something else is the least distracting. And the example that I'm thinking of, and I'm certainly not going to say what the actual version of it is, but in the Kanye West song Gold Digger, the offensive part is changed to "She's not messing with any brokey broke," which sounds a little bit weird, but I know people who know the song and think that that's just what he says during that part of the song, and they love the song for it. They don't think that there's something offensive that was replaced. Versus if you're putting the record scratch, if you're just silencing it, then you're kind of just giving it more attention than you even need to. And I also feel like I come from a generation of listening to hip hop music where they do just take all of those words out, and then you just are listening to a completely indiscernible track because, you know, it shouldn't be up to you what words are offensive anyway.
That's a really good point. And the Kanye rhyme replacement, to go with a word that doesn't even rhyme, that's another artistic fucking statement right there.
Exactly.
yeah, that changes the message.
So a few ways bands do it. One, we would get a promotional single. They come in CDs. It's got 3 songs on it. It's got the album version, it's got a radio edit, and then maybe it has an alternative radio edit or or an instrumental track or something like that, a bed. So you can make promos with it, you know. And so if the record label made the radio edit, they usually did what Matt said, and you just change the lyrics. You don't call attention to it. Sometimes you call attention to it because you want people to go buy the album and they are going to want to hear that swear word. Sometimes it's such an obvious fuck that you go ahead and you call attention to it. One of the things that they did, Chris, the only one that you missed was backward masking. They will take just that, and that's a DJ with Adobe Audition. that's like highlight this, reverse it. That's the fucking track. So I really agree with Matt that the best way is no bleeps, enjoy the song. That's the song. But once you find out that there is a cuss version and you're like, oh, I feel like a loser, man. I like the wrong fucking song. Yeah. One band, God, I think it was Kid Rock. Kid Rock got creative with one of his, and you obviously know this. Instead of suck my dick, it was suck my radio edit.
I don't think I'd heard that before, but that's, again, like you said, you call attention to it in a more of a fuck you kind of way.
Barbra Streisand effect. Right, that's a Barbra Streisand effect, right? Yeah, whatever.
That's the second time I've heard that in a month, and I'm not sure I quite understand, but don't explain it to me.
Okay, so the Barbra Streisand effect is
stop, please.
You clone your dog.
Please, I don't. Come on. You don't bring me flowers.
All right.
Don't sing me love songs.
So, and also Matt talking about ET, and they switched out the guns for the walkie-talkies. Walkie-talkies is like it sounds like what kids call that device, right? A walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Right, but it really is a military term.
Like, why have we not? Why is that not evolved? It's like,
and you can talkie.
It's like right up there with like just calling like pee and poo poo.
Yeah,
right. It's just like walkie-talkies. Here's your walkie-talkie. Like it sounds too juvenile of a term.
You know, it is funny too that even if you've never been in the military in your life, if you are holding a walkie-talkie, you will end every message with "over" or "Roger that, over."
Yeah.
No,
well, you have to
can't
say
help
over.
it. You can't help it.
You have to say it, right? Because
exactly.
You have to release the button. You have to let them know you release the button so you can listen.
Yeah.
The audiobook that I'm working on right now is from a former Navy fighter pilot. I'm doing his second book, and there's a whole bunch of Tower Ghost Riders, the pattern is full, fucking, but it's all
The eagle
copy
has
all
landed.
paddles, fucking. Want to make sure we're clear. We're clear. Runway 23 right. I can't even think of them right now, but yes, there's it. It is over. You say over, and you say over and out.
Over and out. Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, imagine.
What do you just say? Out.
Imagine signing up for like a super badass military thing, and they're giving you all, and it's now the montage of you getting all your gear. You're getting your guns. You're getting your ballistic vest.
All right.
And here's your walkie-talkie. It just, I think it diminishes the badassness. But calling call like a two-way radio. I guess not two-way. It is two-way. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird that we're using the kids' term for this device.
Chris. There is a word. It's comms.
Comms. Yeah, comms is cool.
I'm also pretty sure on the hit series Below Deck, they call them their radios.
Right.
That might be a European thing, though.
On the radio, yeah, it sounded European when you said it.
Now, the favorite thing, I used to work. I haven't worked a large festival in a while, but when you work a large festival or an Olympics or something like that, when you go check in, you got to go check in your radio. And every time you get a radio, you go to the channel that your team is on. And the first thing you do is you turn it on and you go, radio check. And then somebody comes back and goes, good check. It's my favorite fucking thing. It's like, here is a fun microphone where you get to talk and a bunch of people hear you, and use it right now.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, radio check.
And is there
my two favorite words at a live event is radio check. Go on.
I like it. And is there anything that makes you look more official than the curly Q cable that goes over your ear into the single earpiece?
Oh yeah. You're definitely a VIP at that point. You're a tech person. You're a bodyguard.
People think, oh, let me make random all access lanyards. No, you want to get anywhere within an event. Just have that going through. Just
That's
have
a great
that curly wire going in your ear and go, oh yeah, I'll be right back. I'll be right there, Mr. Springsteen, and just walk backstage.
Yeah, you don't need to be like, I know Matt and Joel. You could just be like, what's that? What's that? Oh yeah, okay. They're gonna let me through. They're gonna let me through right now. Okay, thank you, Mr. Springsteen. Thank you.
By the way, it's not Joel, it's Mike. But yeah, you're right. What?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, and I understand your point. I'll offer this. The person who doesn't have to listen to radio traffic all the time and has the option to, turn their off, not have anything in their ear, just fucking interact. I'll tell you what, the big boss is not on an earpiece.
Well, I don't want to be the big boss because that'll draw too much attention. The earpiece guy, if an earpiece guy walked by, I would have forgotten his face 8 seconds later. I forgot all about him. He's just right under the radar to get access to everywhere, and nobody thinks about it. You don't want to draw attention to yourself. You want to be the minivan on the freeway.
So you're looking at breaking into a concert and going places you're not supposed to go.
Exactly.
It could be as opposed to working an event. Okay.
Why have the lanyard when you can just have the little doodle wire?
Right, that's what I'm saying. And not just concerts. I'm talking Pentagon. I'm talking
one.
Replace Springsteen with Mr. President.
Yes, I mean, if I had one of those, I just think it couldn't hoit, right? And as Matt would say, yeah.
I
would say that.
Friend of mine got an old radio private party pass. That was a Tom Petty private party thing that we did, but not with Tom Petty.
Tom Petty private party?
Somebody just lived on top of the
Was it a pretty Tom Petty party?
They lived on top of the concert venue. And so instead of giving away concert tickets, which we did, we just threw a party at this person's house so we could all watch the show on the balcony.
Hell yeah.
My friend took that lanyard that we made for that show and got backstage at Staples with Tom Petty with it.
Boom.
Dang.
Yeah, I've gone into many, like a lot of shows growing up. We would find out, there have been a couple of ways. We'd either find out what the backstage wristbands look like. Like, for instance, one time Warped Tour was at Cal Poly Pomona. I had
Mhm.
friends that went to Cal Poly Pomona. So I looked at what the backstage passes looked like for the weekend of shows. And then the next day, we found the thing. We printed them out. It was like a checkerboard pattern, and we made fake wristbands. And that's how we got
Back
everywhere
when you
backstage.
could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
Back
those are
when you
the
could.
days. But I know now they're like all crazy holographic, like
Right.
they
You can't do it now.
sensors. They've
SBIF or some shit.
yeah. So they RFID, I think.
There you
But
go. Refid.
yeah. Are you thinking of Spitif?
Yes.
Oh,
Probably.
you combined them.
Dude, I know so little about the things that you guys just know. You know?
No. We all know, because you want to know why? Because we're the three wise men
That's right.
right here on the show. We don't need
Putting the
Kalen.
dumb and wisdom.
We don't need Kalen. We don't need Timber. We just need us. All right. I'll explain that nickname next time Gary's on. All right. So let's get to another comment here. Eric Lepore writes, what do you call Pepsi or Coke when you're referring to those drinks? So soda, there's pop. I think pop is like a Midwestern thing, right? You want some pop? You want a can of pop?
I love you, Eric Lepore, but we've talked about this to exhaustion, I believe.
Yeah, dude. What the hell, man?
Everything's a Coke in California. You want a Sprite? Right. It's still a Coke.
Well, that's not. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is an option. I do like the term cola. Maybe I'll start saying
you want
cola.
A Coca-Cola, it's a Coca-Cola.
Well, Pepsi Cola is a thing. Pepsi is a cola.
That's the only thing that's not a Coke.
I'm not saying it's a Coke.
I know. I'm just that's just the way I grew up. In my house, do you want a Coke meant do you want whatever soda's in the fridge?
Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to a different poll. Mike thinks that it's super fucked out, the whole what do you call cola thing. So let's move on. Sarah Jacobo writes, I'm watching the Food That Built America on the History Channel. Here's my question. What do you guys prefer? Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Diet Dr. Pepper? What do you guys like? What do you guys like?
Oh, that's great.
Matt's a Diet Dr. Pepper guy, at least with his
back in the day.
His mixed drinks.
I was.
Yeah, we used to
a long time.
I dig a good root beer. I don't have a root beer very often.
Well, yeah.
When I do, I make sure it's Coors Light.
What about a sarsaparilla? What are those called?
Sarsaparilla?
Yeah, that thing.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It's a root beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Same genus, species. You know. Different. I don't know. I have no idea what the difference is. And I'm sure that when people are listening to this, they're screaming what the difference is into the radio.
Yeah. They're not the freaking same genus, you dingus.
Right.
That's what they're saying. Let's see. Oh, Andrea Owen Wilson
Elliott would have something different to say about it.
Andrea Owen Wilson, wow, says, whenever I've had fish and chips in the UK, it came with a side of mushy peas. Same as regular green peas, just mashed a bit.
I was glad to see the fans backing me up that fish and chips is commonly served with peas, regardless of whether or not they're mashed.
Not in Liverpool.
I felt very attacked.
Validated? Oh, now, yeah.
Prior to that, was really demeaning, but I feel back to where I started, thanks to the fans.
Yeah. Well, on this week's shit I did as a kid on the Patreon show, it will deal with fish and chips in Liverpool.
And I'll certainly remember that to remind you. There's a thing about mushy peas though. Why don't you just call them mashed peas? What kind of PR is that? Imagine mashed potatoes.
It's a British thing.
Mushy peas. I saw mushy peas open up for Shawty Workmnshp on the fucking 98 Building It Back Better tour.
Yeah.
You didn't? Do you remember that? They had that collab track that they did
featuring.
Together. Yeah.
Here's the problem, Chris. Here's the problem. If you are in jolly old London town, you get bangers and mash. And so for them to also have mashed peas, it's confusing.
Right.
So you get bangers, mash, and mush.
But it's
Chris,
just
do you
mushy doesn't
remember?
sound good. Mashed peas sounds way better than mushy peas. Imagine
Dude,
if you had
mushy peas shit is so dope, bro. Don't be bagging on mushy pea.
mushy pea. Mushy pea is dope. Yeah, he has some fire tracks.
Yeah.
They truly slap. But mushy peas the dish. If you called
Yeah.
mashed potatoes mushy potatoes, they
Here's
wouldn't
the-
work. It's like, oh
here's the
yeah,
thing.
here, have your side of mushy potatoes and tell me about
Yeah.
it on your walkie-talkie, you child.
Here's the thing. English can't cook.
Oh God.
They're not a culinary culture.
Oh, here we go.
What? How
Because there
dare
is
you?
mushy peas on your plate doesn't mean you should eat it.
Some people just want to watch the world burn the scallops.
On the same hand, I feel equally about Ireland. You guys had a fucking potato famine. Why do we celebrate your cuisine?
Jeez, dude.
The only
We're gonna have no
the
fans
only-
left.
I
Chris,
know.
Do you remember, Chris? Do you
Anyone else you
remember-
want to talk shit about?
Chris, do you remember when we went to Irish breakfast? We had Irish breakfast in Ireland, in Dublin.
I do remember.
Yeah, good
You
call,
remember how
Stephanie.
awful?
Shepherd's pie. Fucking
How
slaps.
awful it was.
I I don't remember being awful, but I also don't remember it, so it wasn't
Okay.
memorable.
Fish and chips is the only thing the English and the Irish do really well culinary wise, and I will die on that hill.
I know. I love
Sláinte.
shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is bomb. Oh, also just an update from the live comments. Mike Saliba, our cameo today. He says sarsaparilla has Western Native American origins, but root beer's from New England. So one's Biggie, one's Tupac.
Exactly right.
Yeah. There we go. Casey Peter says, my wife hates it that I'm single-handedly trying to make the word rat ass a thing, but I'm not going to stop trying.
Last time I checked, you were four-handedly doing it because you're not alone in this, Casey.
There are dozens of us. Yeah.
There are at
Literally
least four of us.
does it.
Yeah. So, and you know what I think about that? That's pretty cool. Alvaro Zaragoza says, hey, Bobo dudes, on this week's episode on Patreon, I mentioned that I would give away 1 year subscription to the Watercooler Patreon show. Hit like on this post and I will draw a name at random and announce the winner before the next show. Damn, dude. What the heck? That's like a real prize.
That's a prize.
That's something you believe in too, because you don't want to give a shitty gift. You want to give something that you know someone's totally going to love. You got to back it 1,000%. So, Mr. Zaragoza.
Yeah. So you have your shitty
on
gifts
you.
like Mike's Wisdom shirts, or you have a real dope gift where they freaking give away a year's worth of water cooler. And may I add,
I love it.
if you subscribe to our Patreon, I mean, you're getting the whole archive of all. We've been doing this Patreon for like a year, 2 years, 2 years, right?
We started doing 2 a week in 2020, and then probably by 2021. Yeah, I would
2
say
years
that's probably
worth
when we started Patreon. Yeah.
2 years worth of pods. I mean, gosh, that's so many. So yeah, dude, Alvaro, Zaragoza. That's pretty rad ass, bro.
That's pretty awesome.
That is rad ass.
Devin Watson says, I can finally say my wife, and there's some beautiful pictures of him getting married. All right.
Yeah. Devin was also on the meetup.
He was. We
Good
heard
times.
all about it. And congratulations to you both.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
dude.
Bob Cox says, we're thinking of moving to the Midwest so we can actually afford things. Yay or nay? Thoughts? What do you guys say?
Do it. That's what I did. Fucking
Matt
love
says
it
do
here,
it.
man.
You didn't move to the Midwest, though.
Sure, I did. In the middle of the
It really
country.
depends on where Bob Cox lives right now, because we need some smart people to still stay in California.
I don't think he lives in California.
Okay.
Let's see.
I
I
don't
want
know.
the good California.
I think it's like Florida.
But if
So
you're
Florida
in,
to the Midwest? Yeah, I kind of need to know more about your current situation before I can make that decision for you. Because I know
And-
it's
Just more
probably gonna be-
personal details, Bob. Tell us about
Here's-
your life.
here's what I need. I need a list of the natural disasters you are most afraid of to least afraid of. Because any fucking day of the week, I'll take an earthquake, dude.
Really?
On top of anything, always an earthquake, man. I don't want a hurricane. I don't want something that's gonna fucking, I get my house might fucking blow away. I guess an earthquake, my house might break. But I've lived in California my whole life. We're all right.
You'll be good.
But there are tornadoes, dude. And those things, man, I'd say as far as natural disasters go, man, tornadoes freak me out the most.
I don't know. That huge wave and deep impact scares the shit out of me.
That's pretty rough too.
Well, that doesn't happen in the Midwest, thankfully.
Not in deep impact. I'm pretty sure it reached the inner
Really?
parts of the country.
I'm sorry, man. I never saw it.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating documentary starring Morgan Freeman and an illustrious cast.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Steve Vowles and Katie Jenks both shared pictures of fish and chips. Matt, you started a revolution, dude. Everyone's just having fish and chips.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
No, my mouth's watering.
It's delicious.
And William Mayberry says Austin should try Cock and Bulls in Santa Monica for fish and chips. Supposedly really good there too.
Right.
And Dawson,
we got into it about that, about driving over the hill. But here's the point that I forgot to make clear in my rebuttal. I have Ireland's 32 around the corner. I don't need to go to Santa Monica if I want fish and chips.
Ooh, sounds like a challenge.
Yeah. Jordan Plummer says Dawson's right. If you go right to squeezing a lemon over your fish before even trying the bite, you're on the same level. You're on the same level as someone who orders a ribeye well done and smothers it in A1.
Well, you got to scroll down the comments within that comment, because a lot of people firing back about the importance of squeezing the lemon as it gets soaked into the batter. We're not talking about grilled fish here.
I'll put lemon on grilled fish too.
I know, and I'm not saying I won't either.
If you like lemon
totally
on
reasonable.
fish, that means you like lemon on fish.
Yeah, I don't think it's equivalent to the well done ribeye smothering it in A1. I don't know anybody who does that because I have dismissed them as friends and family after finding that out. So personally, they are not in my life anymore. But Dawson, what say you about that?
I have a steak dinner every couple of months with a friend who, when we get prime rib, he takes the raw horseradish, not the cream. And I love the raw horseradish. Just eat that with the fork. But he takes a fucking shitload of the horseradish and he spreads it on his steak. I want to die every time he does it. Like, I'm sorry. He was raised in the Midwest.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, Bob Cox. Those are the people you're gonna have to deal with.
So, I'm not into fucking with something. Just fucking professionals made that for you. Eat it. Damn. I don't know, man. I don't like lemon on fish.
Have you ever?
That's as simple as I can say it.
Yeah, that's you're wrong. Have you guys ever done this? I feel like Matt has. If I'd put money on it, I'd say Matt has done this and Dawson hasn't. You've had such a good meal, you had to meet the chef to compliment him or her, and you asked and you requested their presence, his or her presence. Dawson, have you ever done that? No. Okay, I have not done that either. Matt, have you ever had a meal just so tasty you asked your server, I must compliment the chef, get him over here?
Well, Chris, it's funny you ask. As a matter of fact, I have not.
Oh, really?
Sorry, I never have.
I'm really surprised.
There's a shocker, dude. That's a Shyamalan twist, bro.
Oh, is it because the chef left because the restaurant closed 3 hours ago?
No.
Is that why?
Yeah, they're like, dude, you're still on dessert course. The chef left.
Dude,
I've never done that, but
I'm gonna give you the keys.
The only time I've ever met a chef was when we were having a family dinner and my big nana. I'm sitting next to my big nana, and my big nana gives me the nana pinch. Chris, you get the nana pinch too, where they grab you right here.
That's it's like the back of the neck.
Dawson's squeezing his nipples right now for people listening.
So it's right underneath your bicep. Nana gives me the Nana grab, and she goes, "Take me to the kitchen," because she didn't like the calamari. "Take me to the kitchen. I need to talk to the chef." And I'm like, "Okay, Nana, let's go." And at this time, she's like probably 86, and I'm like 15. And I take Big Nana back to the kitchen. I say to the waiter, I said, "Nana," and we had a table of 20 people. It's Nana's family. She's the matriarch. And she went back to see the chef. And the reason why she went back is the calamari was overcooked. So I took Big Nana back to the kitchen, and she was incredibly nice, but there were no questions. She grabbed the chef and said, "Come here. I'm going to show you how to cook calamari." And she cooked our tables calamari. And then she said, "Now you know." And then we left. It was fucking awesome.
That's badass.
That's rad-ass.
Badass. Gosh, damn it. All right.
Missed opportunity there.
I could still say badass though. Badass has not left my vocabulary. All right. Well, anyway, those are our comments, everybody. Thank you so much for writing in. Look, since we're talking about food, I'm getting hungry. Why don't we do some fond delay?
Oh no!
What type of foods might we hear of today? What might be the price? What might be the venue? So let's find out. It's time for Gary to say, "Hey, Matt,
what's on the menu?"
Well, I'm actually going to kind of breeze through the food portion of the evening, because what I really want to talk about is the sort of post-meal experience that I had. I think you guys will enjoy it more. Quickly, dinner-wise, we went to this place called Matt's El Rancho. I've actually reviewed it in a previous Chez Fond du Lac. It's like a legendary Austin Mexican restaurant, but it was just not very good. You kind of wait for like an hour, and there's a vibe there. You're enjoying the margaritas, but all the food there is pretty rank.
That's why you got to go again, right?
In my opinion, yeah. So we had gotten it like takeout before. Thought, oh, maybe it'll be better if we actually go there, and it was like it really wasn't. But we were invited.
Rank, man. When you said rank, you could be like it ranks like top 3, but if something rank,
where
bottom 3,
yeah.
But we were actually invited for an evening out with some friends of ours to go out for dinner, and then afterwards, within walking distance, is an even more legendary Austin location. It's called the Broken Spoke, and it is a dance hall. It's a honky tonk, and to this California boy, it was really the first true Texas experience that I have had. And this is a place that was established in 1964. It's been around for almost 60 years, and they have not updated very much at all. But that's part of the charm. That's part of what
Did you wear your cowboy boots?
I wore the shoes I've shown you before that look somewhat like cowboy boots.
I love it.
I have a shirt that looks kind of like a cowboy-ish shirt so that I could blend in.
What about the bottom half?
Shorts, baby. No,
shorts.
I had jeans.
Okay.
They got those tuxedo t-shirts.
Yeah.
They should make cowboy shirt t-shirts.
They should. You're right.
I like that.
That would be much better for me. So I was a little nervous about going to this place, not because of the line dancing and the music and all that, but I had talked about this other place in Austin called the Continental Club, which had one of the worst bathrooms I've ever been in my life. And I had heard from many people, you think the bathrooms at Continental Club are bad, wait till you get to the Broken Spoke. So I was having like pre-bathroom anxiety, but you know what? The bathroom was totally fine.
What makes it a bad bathroom again?
The one at Continental Club, there was, first of all, no lock on the door. It's just a singular stall with a toilet that, like a sit-down toilet that did not have a lid or anything like that, and then like a trough. And
definitely not a cocaine bathroom.
Exactly. You are not going to be unobserved.
If you want a good place that's a good bathroom, make sure it's a cocaine bathroom. If you can do a line of cocaine in a bathroom stall in a public place, then that's a good spot to take a shit.
Well, there you go. I'm more concerned with
my comedy routine now.
I just want to be able to take a piss with a little bit of privacy. I know that's asking for a lot these days, but thankfully I was able to do that at the Broken Spoke. So I was like, you know what? I'm not worried at all. This is going to be a great night. And you know what, guys? It really fucking was. Amazing live music, great live band. I thought it was going to be like line dancing, but it really wasn't like that. Everybody's just kind of doing their own thing, like kind of dancing the two-step a little bit and just kind of all as a group moving as a circle. And then after every song is over, the entire floor clears. And then when the next song plays, like people decide if they want to get back on the floor and dance to the next song.
Right. So Matt,
yes.
Go ahead. I one quick question.
Go ahead.
No, continue.
Okay.
Are you drinking Lone Star beers? Are you drinking Lone Star beer?
As a matter of fact, I am, and I was going to round out the segment and circle back with that. But let me, if I may, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, because there was a guy in this establishment that the best way I could describe it is he was dressed like the Riddler. He's wearing a bright green suit.
Okay.
Almost like metallic gold foil with a fedora and a feather. He looked like a cartoon character of a pimp. He is probably like a 65-year-old white guy. He was doing like elaborate stretching. He was kind of doing like karate punches. And he was just making eyes with every single woman in this establishment.
Oh, man.
At a certain point, I looked at my wife and I said, if this gentleman asks you to dance, you have to say yes. And I'm afraid I will not be able to do anything to stop him. That is the power that he is holding over this room right now. Now, thank God he did not approach my wife, but I told her, you're on your own. I can't stop it. This guy,
at least you warned her.
I'm way out of my league. I got nothing on this guy. It's still not clear if he was a regular or a staff member. I don't really know. I'm not sure. But one of the other things about this bar that I loved, and again, it was a very 1960s of them, even though we live in 2023, their credit card tab system is they take your credit card, and then she said to me, give me your hand. And she took a Sharpie and she wrote a number on my hand. And then on a little tiny spiral notebook, there's a handwritten page number associated with my order. And she's like, we keep your card, and every time you want to order, you just show me your hand and I will continue to feed you drinks.
Nice system.
Great system. Now, to answer your question, Dawson, there did come a moment where we had to decide getting beers for the group. Do you get the Lone Star? Do you just get Coors Light? Obviously, we got the Lone Star. Great decision. It makes me wonder, though, Dawson, to your very trained palate, what is the difference between the Lone Star and the Coors Light? Because they kind of taste pretty similar to me.
Lone Star is a fuller beer.
Fuller beer. Okay.
Yeah. Whereas Coors Light is water.
I see.
Lone Star is tea.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Matt, was there a cover charge?
There was a cover charge for the band, which I respect. And
that's
I'm
okay.
happy to pay it.
And good job.
What was it?
$15, $10,
hey, Matt,
something like that.
Matt, my hat's off to you.
Oh, why? Thank you, sir. Well, on that positive note, I'll just say that at the end of the night, I felt like I was at a magic show as this woman went through a credit card box and continued to say to me, is this your card? Is this your card? And eventually it was my card. It was a great night.
Oh,
that's what's on the menu.
All right. That's a good night.
That is a good night.
How big was your group?
I got
6 of us.
6.
I got a question for you, Matt.
Sure.
When did you move to Austin?
Just over a year ago.
And do you have any plans to see Texas?
Yes. I'm not sure what you're getting at.
You're in Austin, dude. I want to know if you've ventured outside.
I see.
Dawson, do you have a bird in your room?
Austin is not Texas.
Maybe you'll recall my visit to the Alamo in a little city called San Antonio not that long ago.
Okay. My bad. I do recall. I thought I came up with a funny joke. The delivery sucked.
It's all good, buddy. No, I know what you mean. I get
That's
it.
what
I need to get out more. We got 4th of July week coming up here. My wife is going to take off work, so we're probably going to try to go somewhere for a couple days.
Nice.
You know, get a little more culture in here. But you know, generally speaking, as you may hear my dog barking in the background, we can't go too far for too long.
Right. Yeah.
Dawson,
I got the same thing, but it's a great excuse.
Absolutely.
You know, I got a dog, bro.
is there a bird in your room too?
No, that's outside, dude.
That's just nature, man.
I'm hearing a single bird. Maybe maybe
You
Champ
do. There is a single
tormenting
bird chirping. It's
tormenting
out.
a single bird.
It's
that sounds like the speckled robin.
Mm.
Yeah, if I recall. Okay. Anyway.
I'm
All
sorry,
right.
dude.
Oh no, I don't care.
I had my door open.
No, it's okay, man. Why don't you
Sounds a
go?
lot better now.
Yeah. Why don't you just go turn on the radio while we're at it? Why don't we do you have a vacuum in there we could switch on while we're doing this show? We can just do it all.
Hey, guess what, Chris? I'm here.
You are. Yeah.
Save
Touche.
it for other people.
Touche. All right. Well, anyway, that will do it for this episode of Watercooler. Why don't we go around and get some plugs in before we get out of here? I'll kick it off with Mr. Noisemaker himself, Mike Dawson. What do you got?
First off, I gotta say fucking mad love to the Rode Wireless Go 2. This whole show has been recorded. If you can see this on video, this whole show has been recorded on this thing. That's the microphone I got.
Very cool. Very cool.
Fucking pretty goddamn cool. Second, comedy shows Saturday night, Chateau, North Hollywood. Third, producing Ralph Bazzulo's podcast, Heroes Behind Headlines. The latest episode is about the dude who had JFK's watch when he was assassinated and what happened to him because he had this watch.
Right.
Gnarly fucking shit. And some of the best audio I've ever put together. It's called Heroes Behind Headlines. And that episode is, I believe, called JFK's watch.
That's some heavy stuff you guys talk about.
You know the guy Israel Del Toro. Do know who he is?
Yeah, Guillermo's brother.
The tunnel to towers commercials. The burn victim. He's got no fingers. He's completely burned. He moved into a tunnel to tower house. He just wrote a book, and he was the guest that we recorded today. And that dude's story is fucking gnarly, hilarious. He's a funny dude. Like you will fucking laugh. And that's the way he got fucking through it. Anyway, you've seen the guy, and the guy was on my computer this morning, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You know, you're in a tunnel for towers. And I asked him at the end of the interview after Ralph was done, I said, by the way, I've seen your house a few times on TV. Is that the tunnel to towers house? And he starts laughing. He's like, yeah, dude, this is it. Anyway, check it out. Heroes Behind Headlines.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. A lot of projects at Dust. Matt, what do you got?
Well, please check out our Patreon, patreon.com/watercooler. It's right now the only way to support us. And if you like this show, you're only hearing half of it. And we have a great time. We try to get all the guys together at least once a week. So even though there's only 3 of us on this episode, hopefully we'll have more guys on the Patreon show this week. Not making any promises, but we try to make it work for you guys. So thank you for supporting. Yes. Also, if you're into the true crime stuff, I have a couple different shows. One's called The Presumption. It's a new show I'm producing. It's like true crime cases from the defense point of view, which is a pretty unique take. This week, we talked to an investigative genetic genealogist, which was kind of mind-blowing. And then I also do the more hardcore, bum you out, but maybe kind of scare you too, true crime, Sword and Scale Nightmares. I did an episode about an exorcism, and it's one of the most fucked up stories I've ever researched. So that's called Exorcism. That was the name of that episode, Sword and Scale Nightmares.
And on The Presumption, you're on it. You're actually speaking.
Yes, I am on air as well, trying to crack wise with these very serious guests.
Oh, are you the
Sometimes-
humor? Are you the?
Sometimes it's gone better than others, but
Really?
I'm trying to figure out my place.
That's awesome.
And as a
we had this genealogist on. I had to bite my tongue for a second because I said to her, like, why would you, like, I don't understand why people would willingly give their genetic information to the government. Like, why, not to get to News Nook here, but why would people do that? Why would they give up their DNA? And this woman just looked me dead in the eye and she's like, to help solve cases and help bring justice to families. And I really wanted to be like, yeah, but give me a good reason. Like, tell me like a real, you know, I did not say that. I did not say it though. It was just, it was too real. And I was like, this is going to be a little tricky to like be on the show and not say the shitty things that I want to say. But anyway.
Yeah, I thought the worst part was when you asked the genealogist, if we ask for more wishes, do they have to give them to us? That didn't go over well at all. All right,
Chris, I love that.
And as for me, my band Loxy, we're playing all over the place next month. We'll be at On the Rocks in Long Beach, July 15th, playing all night long. And then not that song, but we were playing all night long. And
Why
then
won't you be playing that song?
well, now I feel like we have to.
Yeah.
Now I feel like we have to. And then Sunday night, the 23rd, we're playing at Perks in Huntington Beach all night long once again. And then
all night long.
And then we're playing the San Clemente Music Festival, August 13th. San Clemente Music Festival. That one's free. It's a huge festival. We actually got the main stage this year, so please come out and watch us play. All right, that will do it for the water cooler. Thanks again to everybody for listening, for those who are at the meetup, for hanging out with us and watching the show. And we will see you later this week for Patreon. We love you. Goodbye.